do.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Port Royal's Budget Workshop Number 3, year 2026. We do it same time, same place every year. This is budget, like I said, Budget Workshop Number 3. It is 5:30. We'll go ahead and call this to order. We've had a few gone through, kind of the meat and potatoes of the budget so far. We're kind of wrapping it up, talking about a few kind of just tie up a few loose ends here towards the end. With that, I'll kind of turn it over to staff and let you guys kind of lead us, please.
All right. Based upon all of the discussions we had for each of the department budgets, additional memos I provided to y'all, getting feedback, and obviously discussions related to the impact of the exemption issue, we've tried to put together a budget that did not increase millage whatsoever, but tried to accommodate most of the requests that we had. What we're looking at right now is a budget, total expenditures of about $11,810,735.
Say that one more time, I'll write that down, 11 million?
$11,810,735. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, that's fine, I just have to visualize it.
So, and that's that page right there. I'm gonna put it up on the screen too, everybody can see it.
Wow.
It's two.
It's two now?
Yeah.
What was the budget when you first got here?
I think it was $42.12. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I
that was
think
your
it was
salary.
It was about 2.8 million.
Wasn't a lot.
Wow.
But that was 24 years ago. It was black and white televisions and,
Horse and buggy out here on
yeah,
the
that's right.
dirt road.
Exactly.
The good old days, as some would call it.
Yes,
Yeah.
good old days.
So,
Wow, look at that.
but what we're looking at right now, and obviously with the impact of the exemption, we had to examine, where we could balance that budget. And so we identified, we had some allocated property taxes to a different fund, but without touching our fund balance, we'll be able to move that money out of that expired tax increment financing district and use about 50% of it to balance that budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Because as you can see, there's a surplus deficit of $358,747 prior to moving those dollars.
And am I reading that right? The 2026 budget, is that 11,161,770?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess the budget grew by
$600,000-$700,000. And I'll be honest with you, almost every bit of that is related to personnel costs.
I was going to ask about that, yeah.
I mean, that's
probably,
there's a 5% cost of living. I mean, there's a 5% increase, 3% cost of living, 2% adjustment. And then, of
Retirements.
course, every single personnel-related line item, whether it's retirement contributions, FICA, our side of it, all bit of it, everything associated with personnel. And obviously, we had some increases related to liability insurance. There was some concern. We may still see that number that we had kind of anticipated in 26 apply to 27, but we're having to anticipate the legislative mandated increase to 600,000 to coverage to $1 million. So obviously, that's built into the cost.
so I guess I'm just asking, would you say, we've got, and these are just kind of rough numbers, an increase of 650,000 from last year's budget, but majority of that, would you say is mandatory? Like you said, that.
Sure.
That
Yeah, like non-negotiable. Like this is the
Non-negotiable,
cost of doing business.
mandatory stuff.
There is nothing superfluous in this budget. There's no additional, we've got so many projects that are going on right now that we'll be wrapping up. But there's nothing extravagant. Obviously, we had to tighten the belts a little bit because of that, about $500,000 hit to the property tax.
Shortfall.
And I do just want to say, with that, thank you. When, it seems like a lifetime ago, March, when we discovered that. And, you know, just, I think it's really important that this council expressed to you guys, and y'all took it very serious, that I think the knee-jerk reaction is, oh, just raise taxes, just raise taxes. And that, you know, we kind of said that we didn't want to put this issue, this problem, this mistake, whatever you want to describe it up, that's coming out of Columbia on the backs of the Port Royal citizens who did nothing to, you know, warrant this. There's no way to justify it. It's not like we're raising taxes to pay for X, or we had this X. It's literally just a problem, and you guys keeping that ship steady and executing with that directive, which I know probably kept you up at night and made some heartburn for you. So thank you for like I said, you know, listening to that, not digging in and saying, you know, there's no way it's possible.
Right.
You made it work, and that's huge. So thank y'all.
Yeah, so it's about 11.8, 5% adjustment, salaries across the board. One of the things that we kind of need to settle on, and let me pull that up, and this is on the council tab, looking at projects and contributions. You can see the list there. What I would like to do, and this may shift the number just a tad, I've got 41,850 identified in specific projects and contributions. I would like to build a little bit more of a buffer in there if there should be things that come up during the fiscal year. So I'm looking at maybe bumping that to 55,000 potentially. So that if there are any other obligations that we feel like the town needs to participate in, that we can do that. That's going to make a very minute impact, and that's just a matter of moving just a little bit more of the that TIF money out. And one of the things that Chris passed along to me today, or late yesterday afternoon, is at the end of the year, we have these disbursements from the Municipal Association for the insurance programs. And we're going to see where that lands us. Obviously, through Amber Hewitt's efforts, we've seen pretty good increases in compliance with the business license program. So those numbers continue to grow. So we're kind of realizing some revenue that we should have had all along. That with HDL, we kind of think they're nearing the end of their process. But that's why you're seeing, you know, your increases to business license fees, and you're seeing your increases to H&A, hospitality and accommodation taxes, compliance, making sure everybody's in compliance. And, you know, obviously, we have, you know, VRBOs, those numbers, even though we have a cap in place, some of that's backfilling a little bit. And obviously, depending upon the fees that they suggest for the rentals, that impacts what we collect. So, and those aren't trending too poorly here. So, but you can see the big whack we're taking. That, you know, at the end of May, we're really at the end of the collection period for property taxes in the current fiscal year. We are almost 600,000, we're more than $600,000 short of what we anticipated because of the property tax exemptions. Obviously, what we're still trying to quantify is what the changes to the boat taxes will do to us also. We still got to put a step on this, but that FY27 number that you see is based upon the tax digest that we received from Beaufort County on the town's values. And so that 5.4,
Is that a reliable number?
where else are you going to get the info? There's no other source, unless we went and tried to ascertain the value of each of the property ourselves. But that's what we pay county taxes for, is for those services. So, so that mill value, you can see, went down a few $1,000s from where it was previously. But we did get some growth in the tax digest to kind of offset some of that. But if you can imagine where we would be if this exemption issue hadn't happened, I mean, you would literally have an extra $500,000 or $600,000 in this budget
Okay.
without even doing the transfer in.
Yep.
Right.
That's property tax relief. That's funding a lot of different things.
And I think it's important, the transfer in, to balance this budget and do what you guys have done, we did not go into our reserves, our
No, we were not touching the fund balance at all.
fund balance, yep.
These are dollars that were sitting in that expired TIF fund. We've returned the dollars to the county, returned the dollars to the school district, and these are the town returning its dollars to itself.
So again, that's just an important fact. You were able to balance this budget, keep the property taxes the same, and not have to dip into our savings.
Right,
essentially.
and what we tried to do was craft this budget so that if there's no remedy to this exemption issue in the next fiscal year, we'll have the ability to draw down the remainder of those funds to address that shortfall if they choose not to fix it in the next legislative session, and we have to deal with it at least one more year. We still don't know what they're gonna do with grandfathering.
Nope.
We're hoping that that is not included, and so that any of the properties that are currently receiving the exemption would have to reproof or adjust their exemption based upon their actual corporate structure and not with as little as 0.01% of their corporate structure entitling them to 100%.
So I'm clear, the TIF money, we returned, the TIF money that closed,
Yeah,
we returned the county their portion and returned the school board their portion.
yes,
And then our portion goes into our
yep,
general fund or whatever.
It's the money we've been collecting since 2012.
yeah, well, probably 13 really. Yeah,
Right.
Stood up in 2012.
yeah.
The TIF, because
Right.
of state statute, expired in 2022 or 23, whatever that.
Yeah, I
10-year
mean, we
window
even,
is.
as we mentioned, we looked at the tolling that was done for other things as a result of COVID. And even with this, we were somehow to conjure up a way to apply those tolling of time to this TIF, it still wouldn't.
We were told it was illegal.
Right.
Or, I think he said did not feel comfortable going forward doing that.
No. But, you know, we may have other revenue sources in the upcoming fiscal year. We're looking at the fire service fee. If there's a way to do a police service fee, we're gonna hopefully address that. The other municipalities are looking into it that have been impacted by this. I know that's something that Rock Hill was probably thinking about.
Yeah.
So that may be a vehicle that's available to us.
No, hopefully,
So I think you guys were there, what, 300 times, one apartment complex last year, one calendar year? The number's right. Yeah. Fire department, 200 times over a 2.5-year period, I believe. So one property generating 500 service calls.
Yeah, so.
Right, that's a lot of calls,
Yes.
quite a
Yeah,
few.
it is a lot of calls. And then, what do we say, chief, every fire calls $1,200?
Yeah, it's anywhere from 800 to 1,200, depending on what it is.
$800 to $1,200.
It's a true fire, and we've had true fires there that
Mhm.
cost a lot more.
That's right, I remember they did, yeah, up on, like, third floor, I believe, you had to come in with the ladder. Yeah, so
See,
I'm,
even though they're not paying a property tax, we still have to
Oh, yeah,
provide
absolutely.
services to them.
Yeah.
well,
Yes.
I'm very hopeful we'll be able to address that on a case-by-case basis going forward with, and see what other avenues we have, because, yeah, that's just not right. We've talked about it, like I said, seems like a lifetime ago, but it's only been since March. So,
It's aging in dog years.
okay. Well, and if you're comfortable, I'll open it up to, council, their thoughts, but with, given that little bit of cushion in the discretionary stuff, I think that's good, because you're right, stuff comes up, and we want to be good stewards and good partners and good neighbors and, contribute when we can and when it's appropriate. And so having a little, just because it's there doesn't mean we have to spend it, but it is good to, be able to help out and support. If it's and who never knows, it's an organization, other municipality, you don't know what tomorrow brings. So it's, if you're comfortable with it, having, a little extra there, then.
And just two other things that we're reviewing that is not reflected in the revenue side of this is that we are reevaluating the stormwater utility fee based upon the capital program that's attached to that master plan. We're working with our finance people to kind of extrapolate what the anticipated costs are over time so that we could implement those projects. And the second is development and site plan fees that actually reflect the cost to the town associated with permitting them. Engineering costs, everything. So we're looking at what our fee structure is relative to the other municipalities. Because, you know, those costs are generally the same, but we probably, on that side of it, need to keep pace. And as far as the stormwater utility fee goes, we're less than 50% of the next municipality in terms of fee costs.
Well, thank you for a detailed dive into this, and thank you for presenting this to us. And thank you to your whole staff, because I know this is a group effort on everyone's part. We certainly appreciate that.
You go up a little bit, please.
And then, I mean, I can tell you building permit fees, you know, one significant project will eclipse that $200,000 number pretty easily.
Go. I'm just looking at the business license growth.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're seeing growth in court fines too, so.
Okay.
What is weekend revenues for him?
Alcohol.
Okay.
Is that you selling?
That's completely off the books. These
I
are
got you.
card ones.
Got a booth somewhere?
For them bootleggers running through.
And that, interest earned, I'm guessing that's on our general, that's on our
Yes,
general
and
fund.
we do have $7 million.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, right there, you're doing that good, so. Okay.
That's our rainy day money.
And that's really good to know, because I think, I mean, MASC talks about having healthy being like 28 to 30% reserve fund, and we're well above that. So that again goes to y'all's, you know, good steward, because as we have found out this year, you never know what's gonna happen, so.
Right, and each year, the kind of fiscal authority office for the state will send you a letter indicating what you can increase your millage based upon CPI, Consumer Price Index, as well as population growth. And this year, the CPI, that we were told we could increase our millage 2.63%. They're claiming that we had a 0.4 reduction in population.
Okay.
I'm not sure how they figured
I
that.
don't think so. How did that happen?
So that's interesting. Now, obviously, we're not pursuing, you know, the increase in millage, which, you know, we could say, well, that's not necessarily true.
You can appeal that.
Yeah, but I think the 2030 census data will be a little bit better reflection. But obviously, one of the funds that's impacted is local government fund distribution. We did see a little bit larger allocation in the previous year. It's going to go up to about 404,000, but that is impacted by population. So I'm not sure how they determined that we lost population. So,
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
right.
Okay. Okay. Any, questions?
I'm good.
from Council? Y'all good? You need anything else from us?
Good.
We good? Okay. No need for a motion to adjourn, so.